You try put X on me. You bring out the best of me. Now I'm gonna flex on you.
It's still be on the beat.
Champagne popping and the diamonds bright. Wine, baby girl, just wine. See this up thing, kill everything inside. It's cool, baby girl, take time. Champagne popping and the diamonds bright. Wine, baby girl, just wine. See this up thing, kill everything inside. It's cool, baby girl, take time.
We spoil, we know the thief. We get the money, got police.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Titula and if this is your first time seeing me on your screen or stopping by on my channel, it is very nice to meet you. You are welcome. And if this is not your first time, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. I am so excited. Today's video is going to be my first video in the year 2019. Yay! I am uber excited. We made it, guys. Like, we made it. 2018 was a year and I'm so happy that we were able to get through all of that. All of, everything that happened in 2018, and now we're here. Like, we are here. I'm about to, play in some makeup, and I'm not doing anything too extra today. I felt like, the first video of the year, let's start off a little slow, and then we we take off. So today's video is actually going to be on the looks that I recently posted on Instagram, and I posted this because I hadn't been taking a lot of makeup pictures and I just had those pictures on my phone and I just wanted to post them so my Instagram wasn't dormant. But I felt like this post, I wouldn't say I broke the internet, but I almost did. Like, everybody was so in love with this. Like, I had so many comments on this post, and yeah, like, this is a picture, and before you all clock me, yes, I know there is a filter on this, but even when you take off the filter, like, here's what the picture looks like without the filter. And I'm just like, even me myself, I'm like, you did this, honey, you did this. And that was me pretty much doing my regular foundation routine for the winter/cold seasons. So I felt like that would be an amazing video to start off the new year. So I'm going to be giving you guys pretty much my everyday makeup routine, or my everyday makeup routine for the winter, because you all know it's cold. I don't know if you guys can kind of hear it in the background, but it's really raining outside. Like, it's so windy. I'm kind of scared to go out, and I do have to go to work in like an hour. So anyways, the weather itself has been kind of shady lately, and you just have to adapt. Your makeup has to adapt with the weather. So this is pretty much my foundation routine for cold seasons. It helps to lock moisture in, but also at the same time it doesn't allow your oiliness to really pick through, because I'm an oily skin girl. So without much talk or anything, let's just get on. Alright guys, so the very first step you want to take is to go in to moisturize your skin. So I'm starting off with clearly washed face because I want you guys to see what I do under my makeup, especially since that plays a role, like an important role in how your makeup wears throughout the day. So usually I try to stay away from oily products that have a lot of oils in them, because I already have oily skin, but I still want my skin to remain hydrated, because if you don't, sis, you end up looking like a chocolate donut. So I always try to make sure I have enough moisture in my skin. So lately I've been using two products that have actually changed my life, and I don't really moisturize when I use these, because I feel like both of them combined kind of give me the effect of having both a serum as well as a moisturizer. The products I'm talking about are this Dermalogica Clear Start Breakout Clearing Booster. I absolutely love this. I received this from an influencer package, and ever since I got it, I have used it like almost every day. It's super amazing. It's usually meant to help you prevent breakouts on your skin. It's kind of a spot treatment, but if you use a very thin amount or a very little amount and create a thin layer, then it works just as fine, which is exactly what I do. Recently I've been loving this Just Beauty Vitamin C 25% Vitamin C serum. That's what it looks like, and you guys have probably seen this in my derma rolling video. I do have an update for that, but that's going to be in another video. But you guys have seen this in my derma rolling video. I got this in the derma rolling set. It's just a vitamin C serum. Ever since I started using this, I haven't been able to stop. for some reason. Even when I don't derma roll, I haven't been able to stop using this. So that's what like the mixture looks like, and I usually mix them together and just apply that all over my face. So I usually try like putting it all over and then packing it in, and then I apply it down my neck as well. And that's pretty much all I do. So what I noticed with this is that it gives me so much hydration, so I don't need to use a moisturizer, because most moisturizers will eventually make you oily throughout the day. But these are all water based, so it helps to add the moisture but not the oiliness. And that's what I pretty much do for like moisturizing and everything. So the next step I take in my makeup routine is I go in with my primer. And the primer I use is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. That's what that looks like. But this primer has absolutely changed and elevated my makeup game. I'm not even joking. It comes with like a scoop that you can use to kind of pick up the product from inside. And as you can see, I have used a lot of this. So that's pretty much how much primer I use, and I measured it using the spatula that came in the box. And I just take that and kind of apply it all over my face. Some people would put this in specific areas, but I feel like my face is kind of even all around, except my nose that gets super oily. But my face is kind of even all around in like the way it acts. So I feel like it works better, or it works for me to put this all over my face. And the idea for this is to help smooth out any pores, any texture, just to get rid of all of that and give you like the name says, a silk canvas to work with. I absolutely love this. I've been using this for a couple of months now, and I don't have any complaints so far. It's been amazing, and I started using this in the summer. It worked well in the summer. Now I'm using it in the winter, and you see it's working even well. So it's like, for me, it's kind of an all-season primer, which works amazing because you don't always want to switch out products if you don't need to, if you don't have to. Okay, so I'm going to go straight on to my foundation. So the foundation mix that I've been loving lately is my Born This Way foundation, and I'm in the shade Truffle. And I've been loving this and mixing it together with my Fenty Beauty foundation, my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation in the shade 480. I absolutely love this combo together because I feel like they help in what they both bring. So first of all, the Fenty Beauty is a super matte foundation. Y'all, I'm sorry if you can't hear me properly because of this rain, but I can't do nothing about that. So the reason why I like mixing these two together is because they kind of balance each other out. So what I noticed with the Fenty Beauty foundation is that it's a super mattifying foundation. So on days when I don't really want that matte look, I can't get that if I use just the Fenty Beauty foundation alone, because it's super matte. Like, it would stick to your face and stay there all day. No oils in this, no oils at all. And with the Born This Way foundation, I kind of have the other, like the opposite end, where it's super hydrating and gives you this really dewy look, which, I mean, some people love that, but me personally, I like the dewiness to be manufactured. I don't like it to come directly from my foundation, and I just like that because of the fact that I do have oily skin, and if I use a dewy foundation, I could end up looking like a grease ball, honestly speaking. So I try to make sure that I control the amount of dewiness that's on my face, and the best way for me to do this is to kind of mix these two foundations together and tone them down. I also don't like to add a lot of the Fenty Beauty one just because it will make my face look a little red, and also it will add that like super matte look. So I usually, when I do the ratios, the Born This Way is always like a lot more than the Fenty Beauty, but the Fenty Beauty's gotta be there. It's gotta be there. Alright guys, so that's what that's currently looking like, and I know I'm making all shades of crazy, but to kind of blend in my foundation, I usually go in with a brush, and yeah, I just put foundation on that. I usually go in with a brush. I usually like a flat top brush or like a kabuki brush that's very dense, because this helps to give me more of an airbrushed look. So this brush I picked up from Juvia's Place like a couple of years ago. This is the Juvia's Place round buffer brush in 113. I absolutely love this brush. There's another one that's like a flat head. I love that one too for my foundation because it helps to make it, you know, go in very smoothly. So what I do is I usually go in with my Scandinavia primer spray, and this is kind of you know, another priming process, and I will take that and actually spray my face, and also spray a little on the brush as well. So this helps to allow the foundations to actually move a lot better around my face. And by spraying my face, one thing I've noticed is I've actually cut down on the amount of foundation that I end up using, because most of the time the foundation dries in the process of like immediately you put it on, it dries. So the mistake that people would sometimes make, and I used to make this mistake too, is that I would go in with more foundation, and going in with more foundation just adds like an extra layer and an extra layer, and depending on what the look is for, you probably don't even want something that full coverage. So that's the reason why I started doing the strict where just right before I blend in my foundation, I would actually go in and spray my face just to add a little more moisture for the foundation to move around. I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer, and this is in the shade Dark Cocoa. So this is my exact skin shade, or very close to my exact skin shade. What I do with this is I go in and kind of spot conceal areas of my face that just need the extra work. And I usually do the sides of my nose here because I do have some dark spots there. I do the sides of my mouth and above my chin, just, you know, to hide the beard. And then I do under my eyes as well, just because it helps to, it's kind of like a color correcting thing. So instead of using the orange color corrector, sometimes I'll actually mix this with my orange color corrector, and to kind of help hide those bags, because you know, the only bags we want in 2019 are the money bags, you know, you feel me? I just usually go in again, spray my foundation brush with the spray, and I go in again with the same brush and just blend that in, because it's more of like an extra, like it's more of like a foundation than a concealer. So I really want this to be as sheer as possible.
Spoil, we know the thief. We get the money, got police. Tonight we gonna unleash. Smoking on the low.
So for my highlighter, I've been absolutely loving the Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. And that's what the concealer looks like. It's absolutely beautiful. And I use the shade Toffee. What I would say is, I ordered this online. I probably should have gone probably a shade lighter, because this is a little too yellow for me. But depending on how I use it and how I blend it out, it actually kind of works.
From me, don't know if you love me on my money. Too many men wish that on me. Say nowadays all eyes on me. So many things my eyes don't see.
Alright guys, so that's what it's looking like, and I'm going to go in with a damp beauty blender. So the beauty blender I'm using is a Real Techniques one, and it's literally falling apart, but it still works. I like to use the base of this particular one, and I'm just going to start from my chin and kind of just pat that in. And I go towards my lip and I do like the bottom part just to blend that in. And on the top, my technique with this, which really isn't a technique, and something I just started doing recently, is I try to wait to do my under eye, like under my eye, for the very last, so that I do that just right before I want to set everything. Because the idea is, if you do it and then leave it, it'll probably crease as you're looking around and everything. But if you do it just right before you actually set it, there's a very high likelihood that you won't have any creasing by the time you set it. And if there's anything that's worse than your eyeliner messing up, it's you setting an already creased under eye. It's absolutely annoying, because it's one of the hardest things I've found to actually fix once it's done. So I'm doing up the sides of my nose, and I like to bring the concealer a little bit up my nose because it helps with the contouring. I haven't really had to contour my nose a lot, so what I've been doing is I put the concealer just right up the sides of my nose there, and that's like the first step to helping your nose look a little, you know, a little done, a little slimmer. I've gone around and done everywhere except my actual under eye, and before I do that, before I blend it out, I'm going to go in again with my foundation brush, I'm going to spray this just like a little, just to kind of bring moisture back to the brush itself. And I'm going to take that and just go around the edges of the concealer. Now, I didn't add any extra product or anything. I'm using just what was left on the brush from the first time I added foundation. And what I pretty much do with this is I try to go in and blend out the edges of this concealer so it doesn't look too obvious that I have concealer on. So once that is done, I'm ready to actually set my concealer. And the powder I've been loving lately is my Ben 9 Topaz powder. I've been absolutely loving that powder for some reason. I stopped using it like a long time ago because this powder is super orange on my skin. But I've kind of found a trick around or a way to work around that. So I've absolutely been loving that, and I've been using it completely, like completely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and blend under my eye.
Champagne couple in a diamond bright. Wine, baby girl, just wine. See this hot thing kill it.
And I'm going to take like the other side of this beauty blender, dip it in that powder, and go directly under. So now I'm pressing instead of like brushing on the powder. I'm pressing it on just so I can actually maintain the concealer in the position it's in. And I just take that, and I know I do have a lot of powder directly under my eye, but I just take that beauty blender and keep on blending it and kind of bring it down to the other side of my side of my nose and throughout my entire under eye area.
Too many women in my life.
So that's what that side looks like. As you can see, it's looking a little too orange. That's the Topaz powder for you. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side.
So many things my eyes don't see my life. But that's why me I love Vanessa. Vanessa, no they give her hello. See Vanessa, na fire dancer. You she tell me master, master, can you do me faster? That's why me I love Vanessa. See Vanessa, no they cause it drama.
Alright, so now I'm going to take that powder and apply it to the other areas of my face that I highlighted.
We know the thief, we get the money, couple this. Tonight we gonna unleash. Unleash. Smoking on the low, counting on my low. Baby, me buy me no. They try to put the X on me, they bring out the best out me.
I'm going to go into actually contour my face, and if you've been with me for a while, you know that I am a powder contour girl. I do not use a lot of cream contours just because I feel like they're very hard to work with, and for an everyday look it's probably going to be too dramatic. So I'm going in with my Zaran Face Definer palette. I've had this for a hot minute. As you can see, I am hitting pan, which sucks because this is all the way from Nigeria. How am I going to get this? How am I going to get this? But this is like the only powder that I've really found that helps me to control my face, and at the same time doesn't really make it look all the way dramatic. Like the powder itself is very close to my skin tone, so it works just fine as a contour. It's perfect. So I just put this on an angled brush and usually just go in the areas that I would usually contour. So my cheekbones, obviously, and down the sides of my face, on my temple. And then I'm going to go on the sides of my nose. So people would usually go in like super technical with their nose contour. I don't. All I do is I take this brush, I kind of flatten it out and take it on the sides of my nose and attach it kind of to the bottom of my brows. Especially for an everyday look, you still want to look a little flawed, if that makes sense. But you don't want to kind of fix the orangeness of that powder. What I usually do is I usually go in with another translucent powder, or like an actual translucent powder, and I use my Airspun powder. Y'all, I had this since I've had this for a hot minute. So I'm going to take that same beauty blender and take the bottom of it, and I'm just going to actually bake my face with this. Now, I go in super generously with this, like super generously. I put this all over my face pretty much. And what this does is, I feel like the whiteness or like the ashiness of this helps to actually balance the super orangeness of the other powder that I used to set my face. And this is the palette that I use for my low lights because it's translucent, so it doesn't leave a cast. Like the orange powder, if I use that for my low light, it would leave a cast.
Tonight we gonna unleash.
Now I know somebody somewhere is going to clock me and be like, but sis, this isn't an everyday look. But hunty, it is. So I'm going to go back again, yet again, with this foundation brush. Now this is a trick that I usually do. I'm going to take that setting spray and spray this just a little bit. I'm going to make sure it's like more damp than wet if I put it on my powder, obviously. But that just revives the brush, and that's what I'm going to use to actually brush off the excess powders. Now what this does is that the brush is very dense, so it takes the powders just like right off. But then it also adds color back to your face because you still have your foundation and this. And what that helps to do is that it actually helps to make everything look super even, so you don't have like any white cast or any shades or anything. Like, it just makes your face look super even. I don't know if you guys can see, but when I try using a powder brush for this particular step, it don't work like this. It doesn't work. That's what I currently have, and I just did my eyebrows off camera as well as applied some concealer. So when I blended in the concealer to clean up my eyebrows, I kind of put the concealer on my eyelids as well, and I just put some powder. That's pretty much it. Put on my lashes and my liner. I didn't do a wing. I just pretty much put on like just a line and then put my lashes on. The line was pretty much just to help me put on my lashes, and that was pretty much it. So I just pretty much have a couple of steps left. So I'm going to go in with a powder palette, and the powder palette I use is the Zickel powder palette, all the way from Nigeria. I am trying to get myself together to go back and get my MAC powder, but I've been too lazy to go to the mall, to be honest. And as you can see, I started to hit pan on these two shades because those are the shades I mixed together to kind of tone up my neck in with the rest of my face. So as you can see, my face kind of, it's like a really close match to my chest, which is where I tried to match because I feel like there's no point making your face darker and then your chest is that light. So I like to match my face to my chest and then trying to match my neck to the rest of my entire body, because my neck is my darkest part of my face. So what I usually do is I just usually go in really generously with this powder and I just pat that on pretty much. And I do this in circular motion. I pat, I swerve, I do everything possible just to make sure my neck is looking it won't be the exact same, but it would be closer than what it was before. I stopped using foundation because foundation would eventually start to leak and then it would like peek through and then you start to see like lines and everything, and that was like that was the worst thing to do if you were wearing a white shirt because it would transfer. So I stopped doing that with foundation and I just started using powder. I actually got that trick from someone at the MAC store, just to use powder, and since I started doing that like a couple of years back, I haven't stopped. And I just put the powder all over my face to kind of help me even everything out as well. So for blush, you can pretty much use your favorite blush, but I like to use something a little toned down and like it's kind of dark, but it's not black. And like I use my Raisin blush pretty much, not too much talk. So I use my MAC Raisin blush. That's what it looks like. It's kind of a brick colored blush, and this is so pretty on dark skin tones, and this helps to like bring color back to the face, but at the same time it helps to also accentuate your contour, and it does this so beautifully. Like, can you all see that? First of all, I did go really heavy handed on this side though, so I need to blend that out. And I like to put my blush on the temples of my face as well because I feel it gives a more natural look. But that's what it looks like. The blush is so pretty, like it just brings back more life to your face. Sorry, for my highlighter, I'm going to go in with my Milani Fantastic Face and Body Bronzer, and this is in the shade Fantastic in Gold 01. I've had this literally since my first video here on YouTube, and I absolutely love this. It's such a subtle highlighter, so it helps for like an everyday look, so you don't look too, you know, too highlighted. So I just take this on my fan brush and just go to the high points of my face.
Too many men ways that on.
And I usually take a smaller brush and just use that in my inner tear ducts to make me a little more awake.
You love Vanessa, no they give her hello, see Vanessa.
And this is like a super bright highlighter, so it kind of finesses the look of, it makes you look like you're dewy. So this is where I mean, like, I like my dewiness on my skin to be manufactured. I like to bring that in with my highlighters other than having like a dewy foundation because of my oily skin. So for the final step, this is completely optional, but I love doing this. I'm actually going to go in with a loose highlighter, and feel free to skip this step if you're not into highlights or blinging in public or work like, you know, harassment with your highlight. If you're not into all of that, feel free to skip the step. You're good to go like this. But I love to shine. Like when I walk, I want people to see like, oh my god, highlight. I'm going to be taking my loose highlighter. It's the Candid Glow by Yanga Beauty, and this is in Porkish. And girl, this thing is amazing. So I literally just take like a fluffy brush and just tap that in, take away the excess, and I just kind of, I'm not even like swirling or anything. I just put like a dot on like the highest point of my cheekbones. Yeah. Damn. And I'm going in with that smaller brush that I used. I'm going to apply this in the inner corners of my eyes, on my nose, and the top of my lip. And this just helps for everywhere to be even extra highlighted. This highlighter is on top of pressed. It's beautiful. And then I'm just going to use my fingers actually to blend these in, just so it's not looking too extra. If you ever get a lot, just use your powder brush or even your foundation brush would work as well to get rid of the excess. Alright guys, so now that my face is highlighted, for the very last step, and this is a step you cannot skip, this is a step you must do. You must do this step. If you've not been doing this in 2019, start and never stop. This is the setting spray. I know a lot of people do not use setting spray because some people will be like, oh, I've never found one that actually works, so I'd rather not use any. Some people believe setting sprays actually like wash off your makeup and makes it look bad, which I'm like, what setting spray are you using, sis? Setting spray is super important because after all of the powders, all of the layers, everything you've done, you need it to look like skin. It is important for it to look like skin. It is useless to have done all of this if it doesn't look like skin. And this setting spray, the one that I use is the Scandinavian Makeup Setting Spray, and I use the All Control one. And y'all, this thing is life-changing. They say to use minimal thingies, but I really bathe in this every single time I spray my face, just because I don't want to be clockable. Like, I don't want anyone to be able to clock me and be like, sis, but you have all of this powder right here. So I'm going to go in with that setting spray and literally bathe in this. Alright guys, so finally for lips, y'all probably already guessed it, I'm going to be going with the nude gloss. First of all, I'm going to take just this random brown lip liner and use this to line my lips.
Now I'm gonna flex on you. Too many bags on me, too many girls on me.
The gloss I'm going to be going with is my current favorite gloss, and this is from MAC in the shade Bittersweet, and I'm just going to take this and put this all over my lips.
What I want from me, don't know if you love me on my money. Too many men wish that on me. Say nowadays all eyes on me. So many things my eyes don't see. Alright
guys, so here's the final look. I hope you all enjoyed this video. This is my take on a very simple everyday look. Feel free to, you know, recreate this look, and if you do, please let me see what you guys have done. If you have any questions on products or anything that I used in this video that you're kind of confused about, make sure to leave all of your questions, concerns, and everything in the comment section below. Please make sure to thumbs up this video. I would really appreciate that. And if you're not already subscribed, it helps my channel, it helps me. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you all in my next video, God willing. Bye-bye.
Try put the X on me, to bring out the best of me. Now I'm gonna flex on you. Too many bags on me.